Hey there, descendant. It's me. I know, it's been, about 100,000 years since we last checked in. But I've been watching you lately. I see you sitting in your temperature-controlled spaces, staring at these little glowing rectangles, and living a life I couldn't even begin to comprehend back in the Pleistocene. But despite all your incredible technology, I see you struggling with something very familiar. Something that I actually gave you. So welcome to this visual explainer. Today, as your very distant, very proud ancient ancestor, I'm going to guide you through the evolutionary science of anger and help you understand that primal spark that still burns so fiercely inside your modern mind.
Okay, let's dive into this. Picture this everyday scenario. You're sitting in what you guys call a traffic jam. Someone suddenly swerves and cuts right in front of your metal box. What happens? Immediately, your heart starts just racing against your ribs. Your muscles tighten up like you're getting ready to strike. Your face flushes hot. For a split second, you literally feel like exploding. But why? A traffic jam isn't a hungry predator, right? It's a completely non-lethal event. So why on earth does your body react as if you are quite literally fighting for your survival?
Just look at the contrast here. On the left, we've got your modern annoyances. A rude comment on social media is not a physical attack. Someone taking your parking spot at the grocery store is not going to result in your family starving to death. Yet on the right side, look at the physical reactions, the racing heart, the hot face, the intense muscle tension. Those are serious, heavy-duty physical responses. Those are the survival mechanisms that I personally bestowed upon you. Basically, your body is deploying ancient biological weaponry to fight modern, trivial annoyances.
Section 1. My gift of anger.
I have to take full ownership of this emotional inheritance I passed down to you. You see, long before your smartphones, long before your massive cities, and way before modern society constantly told you to just calm down, anger wasn't considered a weakness. It certainly wasn't a character flaw. It was an absolutely vital survival strategy. It was a gift that literally kept our bloodline going. Let me take you back to my world for a second. 100,000 years ago, life was brutal. We belonged to small tribes. Food was incredibly limited. Clean water was scarce. If another group came over the hill and tried to steal our supplies and we just remained passive, well, our family would starve. Our chances of survival would literally drop to zero. In my world, fear alone wasn't enough to keep us alive. Fear tells you to run, sure, but sometimes you couldn't run. We needed a mechanism that forcefully told us to stand our ground.
And that is exactly why humans evolved this primal spark. Anger acts as a massive physiological override switch. It prepares the body for immediate, decisive action. Your heart beats faster to pump oxygen. Blood rushes away from your digestive organs and straight into your muscles. Your perception of pain actually drops, and your brain hyperfocuses on the threat right in front of you. This evolutionary gift is exactly what helped our early human families defend ourselves against thieves, protect our loved ones, and survive another day in a really hostile world. Without this fiery response, honestly, you wouldn't even be sitting here today.
Section 2. Social threats and the brain.
Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. Nobody is stealing your winter food reserves at the office. True, but this survival mechanism wasn't just built for physical danger. In my time, the tribe was everything. You could not survive alone in the wilderness. So if you were insulted, ignored, humiliated, or treated unfairly, it wasn't just a bruise to your ego. Social status truly, deeply mattered. If you lost respect within our small tribe, you could lose the group's protection, you could lose your share of the food, you could lose a mate. Being disrespected was a literal threat to your physical survival. And this brilliantly illustrates why your brain evolved to react so aggressively to unfairness. It's why a small insult at your modern workplace triggers such an intense, completely outsized emotional response. Deep down, your ancient brain still thinks exile from the tribe is a death sentence.
Let's actually look under the hood at the hardware I gave you. The main star of this show is the amygdala. Think of it as the brain's ancient alarm system. It is constantly, endlessly scanning your environment for possible threats. And when it detects danger, or even just something it interprets as disrespect or danger, it immediately pulls the fire alarm. It sends stress hormones like adrenaline surging through your entire nervous system before you even have a fraction of a second to consciously process what's happening.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing the ultimate tug-of-war happening inside your head. On one side, we have the emotional brain, the amygdala. It reacts instantly. It floods the body with adrenaline. On the other side, you've got your rational brain, the prefrontal cortex. This is the newer, fancy part of the brain, responsible for complex planning and self-control. But here's the catch. During intense anger, the prefrontal cortex becomes way less influential. The fast emotional brain just totally overpowers the slower rational brain. The rational brain is quite literally playing catch-up. This is exactly why you sometimes say incredibly harsh things in the heat of the moment that you deeply, deeply regret an hour later. Your ancient alarm system just completely hijacked your modern logic center.
Section 3. Modern Life, Ancient Brain.
As your ancestor, I really have to apologize. I handed down a brain perfectly optimized for the African savanna, and you are trying to use it in a world of constant, overwhelming digital overstimulation. Our brains evolved for a quiet life in small communities. We did not evolve for endless pinging notifications, crowded highways packed with thousands of strangers, slow internet connections when you're on a tight deadline, delayed flights, rude emails from your boss. Modern life exposes you to hundreds of these tiny rapid-fire frustrations every single day. And here's the tragedy of the whole shebang. Your ancient brain interprets these repeated minor frustrations as ongoing, literal threats to your survival. Over time, that stress just builds, and your emotional alarm system becomes hypersensitive. It's no wonder so many of you feel irritable all the time. Your brain genuinely thinks you're under constant attack.
Section 4. The True Purpose of Anger.
But before you completely curse me for leaving you with this faulty hardware, know that this ancient fire isn't entirely bad. Modern society loves to tell you to suppress it completely, to always be perfectly calm, but look at the difference here. Healthy anger tells you when your boundaries have been crossed. It motivates you to correct injustice. It gives you the courage during difficult moments to stand up for yourself. Uncontrolled anger, however, destroys. It's acting blindly without thinking. So, the crucial point is that the danger, my modern friend, isn't the emotion of anger itself. The danger is acting blindly on the adrenaline rush. Healthy anger protects. Uncontrolled anger destroys.
Now, you might wonder why some of your peers seem perfectly chill, while others, maybe even you, explode over the smallest things. Well, anger isn't just a personality trait. If you grew up in a stressful environment, your ancient alarm is calibrated to be highly sensitive. Add to that poor sleep, chronic stress, anxiety, or even just plain hunger. Remember how scarce food used to be? And your brain becomes incredibly reactive. An exhausted, stressed out nervous system has absolutely zero patience because it feels it lacks the critical resources needed to survive.
Section 5. Mastering your ancient fire. Since you can't exactly trade in the brain I gave you for a new model, you've got to learn to tame it. The next time you feel that familiar heat rising in your chest, follow these exact steps. Step 1. Pause before reacting. Literally, just stop. Step 2. Take a slow breath. This physical act actually signals your nervous system that you are safe. Step 3. Ask yourself, what threat is my brain detecting right now? Is it actual physical danger, or is it simply embarrassment, disrespect, or just frustration? Let's move to and see how this builds. By identifying the trigger out loud in your mind, you force that slower, logical prefrontal cortex to turn back on, which instantly reduces the power of the fast-acting amygdala.
And to keep your system balanced day to day, you need to maintain the machine. Regular exercise physically burns off that built-up adrenaline and stress. Good sleep is literally the foundational pillar that strengthens your emotional control. And practicing mindfulness acts as a crucial buffer, giving your rational brain those extra milliseconds to catch up before your ancient amygdala takes total control of the wheel.
As I watch you navigate this incredibly fast, dizzyingly complex modern world, I want to leave you with this final thought. Your anger isn't proof that you are broken. It is evidence that you are carrying an emotional system shaped by millions of years of evolution. It's the exact same instinct that protected me so that you could exist today. Like the quote says, true strength isn't never feeling anger. It's knowing when to use it and when to let it go. The world has changed drastically, but your core instincts remain. So I leave you with this question, my descendant. Now that you know the ancient origins of your fiery mind, will you let the modern world use it to burn you down? Or will you master the spark to light your way forward? Until next time, stay curious.